Hey guys, Race here. Just doing another bonus video to another Bronies React. This Bronies React was different in that we weren't so much defending ourselves as we were responding to something that happened within the community. So obviously the emotion was a little bit different on this one. The humor level also a little bit different, but some of these guys, as you saw, and as you will see, were able to still tie in some laughs even in something that means this much to the community. One thing that somebody suggested that I point out is that Derpy was in fact a product of Studio B, where Hasbro being the overall company, but Studio B was really the ones responsible for bringing us Derpy. Speaking of derping, I managed to do a little bit of that myself. I finished this video at about 5:30 Easter morning. That little box where you see this thing that's going on, somehow I hit a button and disengaged that track. So that was actually supposed to be there. My roommate's right there! Yeah! Yes, while her name was taken out, it never was in fact changed. So that, in my sense, is she's still named Derpy. We're just the ones who know that. And one more note, if you check in the description, a link to my Tumblr. Yes, I have a Tumblr now where I will be giving updates on other video projects I'm doing. But hey, time to enjoy. Hope you guys like this one again. And roll up! What does Derpy mean to the community?
Derpy became a direct link between the creators of the show and their fans.
Huge thank you. It's like a thank you from you guys, and it's a huge thank you. And we, in response, we give a thank you back because it's like this is the Derpy that holds everything in place.
She was the first sort of like communication tool that the producers had with us.
As the fan base grew, she kind of grew along with us.
Hasbro acknowledging, hey, bronies exist. Hi guys, we're cool with you.
Derpy sort of became the symbol for this sort of openness between the production staff and the fan base.
Derpy shows that no one is perfect and they don't have to be, and that's a very comforting thing.
Our own interpretations, from songs to music to drawings to stories.
She was one of the few characters that was given life.
Derpy represents the brony community and the impact on the show.
What do you think people found offensive?
They thought it was making fun of a character who was mentally challenged.
She is the one messing up.
You have to be in on the joke to understand why it's not offensive.
It like gives a bad image to special people just because they don't do a bad thing in a scene.
The original voice might have been a little slow.
Yeah, I really think it was the voice.
At first, I was a little bit off-put by it because it sounded like a stereotype.
I don't think it has anything to do with their knowledge of the show, their knowledge of the name, and their knowledge of the fandom. I believe it's entirely that they were misinformed on this situation.
It was a mistake on the voice actress's part for mistaking Derpy for a boy, so that's excusable.
If you weren't in on the joke, you probably thought they were making fun of people with mental illness.
Her name and her eyes really weren't that big of a deal, but it was her voice that kind of brought them all together and gave us this offensive portrayal of a character.
She's clumsy and ditzy, and I think all of us have a side of us like that we can relate to.
What is so important about the voice?
Well, the voice is important because it amplifies more about the character itself.
Our little Derpy was taking a small step into a bigger world.
The voice was critical because every single fan who had watched the show, who liked Derpy, had sort of this idea already in their minds about what she sounded like.
It was under the assumption that she was a boy, so it really wasn't supposed to be what kind of voice they were planning to give her.
The reason that I didn't like the new voice was because it just lacked character. It felt like they went in and recorded that at the last minute.
I think her new voice is what a lot of people were expecting.
The old voice had, it had more character. It was definitely, you could tell that she was a clumsy pony who made a lot of mistakes, but really meant to try her best.
Especially the people who are used to Bald Numblerat's interpretation of Derpy. It's, the new voice is closer to that, and I like the new voice.
Do you think the Save Derpy campaign was beneficial?
I think to some extent it was beneficial.
When we get loud, people outside of the fandom hear it.
It did raise a huge voice. It basically told Hasbro, listen, we're over here. We are very concerned about the change.
We can't just force them to take more risks that might, endanger their profits or their company.
Creating a Save Derby campaign is huge. And did you see how many tweets we've sent? Did you see how many petitions and how many signatures we got to those petitions?
I don't think splashing gas into the fire was a very good idea.
To an outsider, it would seem kind of silly and over the top.
As a producer, as a creative person, I don't think that someone who has creative control over a work shouldn't have to censor it just because someone might get upset.
It's not going to get Hasbro to change their mind or change the show back.
To unite the community. That was an accomplishment.
The fandom is there. The fandom has a voice.
There was a call to arms, and the majority of us answered that call.
I think it was important in that it let them know what we thought about it.
It shows how united and how we can be mobilized as a community to work for a common cause.
Do you believe Derpy will ever have a scene again?
That's a hot potato, and they don't want to step in that minefield one more time.
Actually, it's actually pretty possible to have another scene with Derpy.
It was a shout out to the fans. They did it. I don't know if they would take that chance of doing it again.
Well, what's the problem with giving her a different scene that doesn't seem offensive?
Given what happened, I really don't think so.
I'm just happy she's still with us.
I think at this point, they know people like Derpy. They should just put her in background scenes.
No matter what they did, there was someone who was annoyed at the way it happened. So I don't think they're going to take the risk of throwing her in there again. I don't think it's worth the risk for them.
They'll more than likely have to avoid saying her name.
But frankly, yes, I think she will.
The staff is paying more attention to us. They're starting to get our inside jokes. I mean, Flutter Tree, they put a muffin on Derpy's saddlebag. That was pretty awesome.
I would love her to have her interact more with the main six.
If the edited scene was the original in the first place, I would have been fine with it. I'm sure a lot of people would have been fine with it. But the issue here isn't the scene, it's the fact that they censored it.
I'm not counting them out. They'll do something clever. I trust the staff.
What message is being sent to youth by this change?
That being different is wrong.
I think this change might actually glaze over a lot of the younger viewers.
It's not okay to have some pony who is different than every pony else in your social circle.
We're making this controversy more important than it needs to be because we want to feel validated in being upset. And really, I don't think it's a big deal to kids. I don't.
They don't know the importance this scene was to the fandom.
Younger audiences, like 10 and below, they don't care. Why would they? They're too busy watching the actual show.
I dare to say it. It's about a blonde pony who basically does stuff wrong instead of just Derpy who's doing stuff wrong.
One kid that I've heard of that it's not okay to be different. That's kind of the message that it gives to kids that might have drawn an inspiration from her.
You should laugh at blondies now.
They have a very big problem accepting those who are different, and that was a very good first step.
There was just so much potential for the things they could have done with her.
I was so excited to see a character like her being loved for who she was.
Iron Hasbro says the tiniest minority is the highest priority.
Why don't they seem the least concerned about Derpy being changed? What the hell is going on?
Derpy represents the brony community.